B.Ed नोट्स विभिन्न राज्यों के सभी विश्वविद्यालयों के छात्रों और विभिन्न परीक्षाओं की तैयारी में सहायता के लिए तैयार किए गए हैं। कृपया लाइक, शेयर और कमेंट करें। B.Ed फर्स्ट ईयर पेपर 4 पेडागोजी ऑफ इंग्लिश यूनिट 3 टीचिंग लर्निंग मटेरियल्स एंड एड्स। B.Ed फर्स्ट प्रिंट मीडिया 1 टेस्ट्स। Definition tests are tools used to evaluate students' knowledge, skills, attitudes, and academic progress. Purpose: assess learning outcomes. Identify learning gaps. Provide feedback to students and teachers. Help in grading and promotion. Types: formative during instruction. Summative end of unit term. Diagnostic identify weaknesses. Achievement and aptitude tests. 2 newspapers. Educational use. Source of current events and real-life reading material. Enhances reading, vocabulary, and critical thinking. Used for language learning, debates, and comprehension practice. Activities. News summary writing. Vocabulary building. Identifying parts of speech in articles. Print media. Teen class libraries. Definition: a class library is a small collection of books kept in the classroom for students' regular access. Importance: promotes independent reading habits. Encourages language development. Builds a love for books and literature. Supports the curriculum with supplementary reading. Includes storybooks, reference books, biographies, magazines. 4 radio. Use in education. Educational radio programs can teach languages, science, history, etc. Useful in areas with limited access to formal education. Enhances listening skills and auditory learning. Benefits: cost-effective, wide reach, can be replayed for reinforcement. Print media 5 films. Educational films. Films and documentaries are powerful tools to visualize learning content. Help in teaching history, science, moral values, and language. Make abstract concepts concrete and engaging. Uses: support classroom learning. Stimulate discussion and critical thinking. Cultural and moral education. 6 co-curricular activities, workshops, seminars, etc. Definition: activities outside the formal curriculum that support holistic development. Workshops. Hands-on training sessions. Promote skill development, creativity, and problem-solving. Seminars. Formal group discussions on specific topics. Encourage public speaking, research, and analytical thinking. Other co-curricular activities, debates, quizzes, drama, excursions. Develop leadership, teamwork, communication, and social skills. Importance: foster overall personality development. Support practical application of knowledge. Encourage student engagement and collaborative learning. Audio-visual aids. Importance of instructional material in the teaching of English. Detailed explanation. What are instructional materials? Instructional materials refer to the tools, resources, and content used by teachers to facilitate learning, support instruction, and engage students in the learning process. These materials can be real-life objects, newspapers, charts. Importance of instructional materials in teaching English. 1. Enhances language skills. LSRW. Instructional materials support the development of the 4 essential language skills: Listening through audio materials like dialogues, radio. Speaking, role plays, language labs, interviews. Reading texts, storybooks, newspapers. Writing worksheets, guided writing exercises. They make these skills interactive, practical, and learner-friendly. Audio-visual aids. Importance of instructional material in the teaching of English, detailed explanation. What are instructional materials? Instructional materials refer to the tools, resources, and content used by teachers to facilitate learning, support instruction, and engage students in the learning process. These materials can be printed textbooks, workbooks, flashcards, audiovisual videos, podcasts, language labs, digital PowerPoint, educational apps, websites, realia, real-life objects, newspapers, charts. Importance of instructional materials in teaching English. Enhances language skills, LSRW. Instructional materials support the development of the 4 essential language skills. Listening through audio materials like dialogues, radio. Speaking, role plays, language labs, interviews. Reading texts, storybooks, newspapers. Writing worksheets, guided writing exercises. They make these skills interactive, practical, and learner-friendly. Audio-visual aids. Though makes abstract concepts concrete. English grammar, vocabulary, and literature can often be abstract or complex. Using instructional aids such as charts for tenses or sentence structures, vocabulary flashcards, graphic organizers for comprehension helps students visualize and grasp concepts more clearly. Teen increases student engagement. Instructional materials break the monotony of textbook teaching and promote active learning. Visuals, games, and media content. Stimulate interest. Capture attention. Encourage participation. This is especially important in language classes where motivation affects learning outcomes. Audio-visual aids. CHAR supports differentiated learning. Every student learns differently. Instructional materials allow teachers to adapt content to suit varying ability levels. Provide extra support to slow learners, e.g., through pictorial aids. Challenge advanced learners with enriched content, e.g., literary videos, debate activities. This leads to a more inclusive and effective learning environment. Punch improves retention and recall. Visuals and hands-on activities aid memory and retention. For example, students remember vocabulary better with image cards. Watching a film adaptation of a novel strengthens understanding. Materials provide multisensory learning experiences that enhance long-term retention. Audio-visual aids. 6. Supports teaching objectives and planning. Instructional materials help the teacher plan lessons more effectively. Align teaching activities with learning outcomes. Create a structured and goal-oriented classroom environment. Well-chosen materials ensure that lessons are not just informative but also impactful. 7. Exposes learners to real-life language use. Authentic materials like newspapers, TV shows, advertisements, web articles show students how English is used in real life beyond textbooks. This enhances their ability to use language functionally and communicate in real-world situations. Audio-visual aids. 8. Encourages creativity and critical thinking. Materials like open-ended worksheets, Debate prompts. Role-play cards encourage learners to think, imagine, and express, which is vital in learning a language. Now improves communication and collaboration. Interactive instructional tools like pair work cards, group activities, audiovisual discussions promote student-to-student and student-to-teacher interaction. Crucial for improving spoken English and social use of language. Audio-visual aids. 0. Assists in evaluation and feedback. Worksheets, quizzes, language games, and digital tools help assess students' progress. Provide immediate feedback. Identify learning gaps. This helps the teacher modify instruction as needed. Conclusion. Instructional materials are the backbone of effective English language teaching. They make learning engaging, interactive, personalized, and meaningful. Whether traditional or modern, instructional materials help bridge the gap between theory and practice, enabling students to use English confidently and competently in real life. Usage of ICT. Use of ICT in learning exercises for language competency. What is ICT? ICT stands for Information and Communication Technology. It includes the use of computers, internet, audiovisual tools, educational software, mobile apps, smart boards, multimedia content. ICT in language learning refers to using these tools to enhance the teaching and learning of language skills. Language competency, what it means. Language competency involves the ability to understand and use language effectively. Master the 4 language skills: listening, speaking, reading, writing. It also includes vocabulary, grammar, fluency, comprehension, and communication. How ICT enhances language competency. 1. Improving listening skills. Podcasts, audiobooks, and language learning apps, e.g., BBC Learning English, Duolingo. Listening to native speakers helps students understand pronunciation, tone, and stress. Students can pause, repeat, and replay to improve understanding. Enhancing speaking skills. Voice recording tools, speech-to-text apps, and video conferencing platforms, e.g., Zoom, Google Meet. Use of AI pronunciation checkers like ELSA Speak or Google Assistant. Students can practice dialogues, give oral presentations, or engage in virtual speaking clubs. Building reading skills. Online articles, blogs, ebooks, and digital newspapers. Use of hyperlinked texts and online dictionaries to clarify meanings instantly. Reading apps like Read Theory or Storyweaver offer graded reading levels. Developing writing skills. Word processors with grammar and spell check, e.g. Grammarly, MS Word. Blog writing, emails, and online forums encourage real-world writing. Use of templates, prompts, and story starters helps organize ideas better. ICT tools for language learning exercises. Tool platform use in language learning. Duolingo, memorize vocabulary, grammar, pronunciation. Kahoot, quizzes, gamified quizzes for grammar comprehension. YouTube, listening and pronunciation practice. Google Docs, collaborative writing and peer editing. Digital storytelling tools, e.g., Book Creator, Storybird, creative writing and presentation. Blogs and wikis, writing and feedback. Language labs, controlled practice in speaking, listening. Speech recognition tools improve pronunciation and fluency. Benefits of ICT in language learning exercises. एक interactive and engaging. Multimedia content, videos, games, quizzes, makes learning fun and dynamic. Though learner-centered. Students learn at their own pace with personalized content. Teen immediate feedback. Apps and tools give instant feedback, which helps in self-correction. 4. Access to authentic language ICT. Gives exposure to real-life language usage via native content, movies, interviews, news. 5. Enhances collaboration. Encourages peer-to-peer learning through collaborative tools like Google Docs and Padlet. 6. Supports differentiated learning. ICT caters to different learning styles, visual, auditory, kinesthetic. Limitations and challenges. Requires digital literacy among teachers and students. Not all schools have adequate infrastructure. Risk of distraction if tools are not used purposefully. Some students may face access issues, e.g., no internet or devices at home. Classroom strategies using ICT for language exercises for listening speaking. Use video clips followed by comprehension questions. Conduct online speaking tasks, e.g., record a video diary. Use voice assistants for pronunciation practice for reading writing. Set up online reading logs or journals. Use Google Forms for creative writing prompts and feedback. Engage in email or chat exchanges with pen pals, eTwinning, etc. For group work, use Jamboard or Padlet for group discussions. Create a class blog for student articles and stories. Conclusion. The integration of ICT in language learning exercises transforms traditional classrooms into interactive, learner-centered environments. It helps students become confident communicators, improves their linguistic accuracy and fluency, and equips them with 21st century skills. ICT is not just a support tool. It is a powerful pedagogical strategy for achieving language competency in today's digital age. Radio. Radio and its uses in teaching learning process. Radio is a traditional but effective medium of communication that broadcasts audio content to a wide audience. In education, radio has been used as a powerful tool to support teaching and learning, especially in language learning and areas where access to formal schooling may be limited. Uses of radio in the classroom and teaching learning process. Enhances listening skills. Radio programs provide authentic listening practice with various accents, speeds, and contexts. Helps students improve comprehension and auditory discrimination. Brings real-world content. News, educational talks, storytelling, dramas, and interviews enrich the classroom experience. Connects students to current events and cultural content beyond textbooks. Accessible and cost-effective. Radio sets are inexpensive and easy to operate. Useful in remote or under-resourced areas where other technologies may not be available. Supports language learning. Broadcasts can focus on vocabulary building, pronunciation, grammar, and conversational skills. Teachers can assign listening exercises based on radio programs. Stimulates imagination and creativity. Without visuals, radio encourages students to imagine scenarios, improving creative thinking. Radio dramas or storytelling sessions can engage students emotionally. Promotes inclusive learning. Radio lessons can be broadcast to large groups or communities simultaneously. Beneficial for learners who are visually impaired or have reading difficulties. Encourages self-learning and flexibility. Students can listen outside class hours for reinforcement. Radio content can be revisited multiple times. Integrates with other teaching methods. Radio can complement textbooks and classroom activities. Teachers can pause broadcasts for discussions, role plays, or comprehension questions. Example activities using radio in the classroom. Listening to a story or news report followed by Q&A sessions. Dictation exercises based on radio broadcasts. Role-playing characters from radio dramas. Group discussions on current affairs or educational programs heard on the radio. Conclusion. Radio remains a valuable educational tool that enhances language acquisition and listening skills, especially in contexts where visual or digital media may be unavailable. When used effectively, it can make learning more engaging, accessible, and culturally relevant. Television. Television and its uses in teaching learning process. Television is a powerful audiovisual medium that broadcasts educational content to a wide audience. It combines moving images and sound, making learning more engaging and easier to understand. Uses of television in the classroom and teaching learning process. Enhances visual and auditory learning. Combines sound and visuals to explain concepts clearly. Helps students grasp difficult ideas through demonstrations, animations, and real-life examples. Makes learning interesting and engaging. Educational programs, documentaries, and films capture students' attention. Visual storytelling helps sustain interest and improve retention. Provides access to authentic and real-life content. Exposes learners to real-world situations, cultural contexts, and diverse language use. Brings experts, field trips, and events into the classroom virtually. Supports different learning styles. Visual learners benefit from images and videos. Auditory learners benefit from dialogues, narration, and music. Enhances overall comprehension for a broad range of students. Encourages critical thinking and discussion. Teachers can pause videos to ask questions, clarify doubts, and promote discussions. Stimulates curiosity and deeper understanding. Facilitates inclusive education. Useful for learners with reading difficulties or language learners who benefit from contextual cues. Can be used to teach students with special needs by providing multisensory inputs. Flexible and versatile teaching tool. Can be used for demonstrations, storytelling, showing experiments, and language practice. Supports flipped classroom models where students watch content at home and discuss in class. Enhances language learning. Watching English programs helps improve vocabulary, pronunciation, and conversational skills. Subtitled programs assist in reading and listening simultaneously. Television. Example classroom activities using television. Showing short educational videos followed by group discussions or summaries. Watching documentaries related to subjects like science, history, or literature. Using TV news clips for current affairs discussions or language comprehension exercises. Role-playing scenes from educational programs to develop speaking skills. Conclusion. Television is a valuable instructional aid that makes learning vivid, meaningful, and interactive. When integrated effectively, it enriches the teaching-learning process by providing real-world exposure and catering to diverse learning needs. Films. Utility of films in English language teaching. Visual and contextual learning. Films combine images, dialogues, music, and settings, providing rich context that aids comprehension of vocabulary, expressions, and cultural nuances. Enhances listening skills, exposure to natural speech, different accents, intonations, and conversational speeds helps learners improve their listening comprehension. Motivates learners. Films are engaging and entertaining, which increases students' motivation to learn and sustain interest in language study. Develops cultural awareness. Films often reflect cultural values, traditions, and social issues, helping students understand the culture behind the language. Improves pronunciation and speaking. Watching characters speak offers learners models for pronunciation, rhythm, and conversational patterns. Facilitates multisensory learning. Combines audiovisual input that caters to diverse learning styles and enhances memory retention. Class for immersion. Films. Though educational uses of films in teaching English. Vocabulary and grammar in context. Films show vocabulary and grammar in real-life situations, making abstract rules easier to grasp. Comprehension exercises. Teachers can use film clips for listening comprehension, note-taking, summarizing, and predicting dialogues. Discussion and critical thinking. Films provide material for classroom discussions, debates, and reflections on themes, characters, and plot. Creative writing and speaking. Students can write reviews, alternate endings, or role-play scenes to practice writing and speaking skills. Teaching idioms and slang. Films expose learners to informal language, idiomatic expressions, and colloquialisms not often found in textbooks. Integrating literature and film. Adaptations of literary works into films help students compare texts and understand narrative elements. Use of subtitles. Subtitles help learners connect spoken and written English, supporting reading and listening simultaneously. 3. Practical classroom strategies using films. Show short clips instead of full films to focus on specific language points. Use previewing activities to introduce vocabulary or context. Pause the film for discussion, prediction, or explanation. Assign post-viewing tasks like summaries, role plays, or writing assignments. Encourage students to watch films outside class for immersion. Films. Challenges and considerations. Films may contain complex language or cultural references that need explanation. Lengthy films may require time management. Selecting age-appropriate and pedagogically relevant films is crucial. Conclusion. Films are a versatile and powerful tool in teaching English, enhancing linguistic skills while making learning enjoyable and culturally enriching. Properly integrated into the curriculum, films can greatly improve students' language competence and global awareness. Discussion. Attitude and ability to work in a group. Features of group discussion. Group discussion, GD. Group discussion is a teaching and learning technique where a small group of students engage in a structured conversation on a specific topic. It encourages interaction, exchange of ideas, and collaborative learning. Purpose of group discussion. To develop communication skills such as speaking clearly, listening actively, and expressing ideas logically. To foster critical thinking by analyzing different viewpoints. To promote teamwork and cooperation among students. To improve confidence in public speaking and interpersonal skills. To assess students' knowledge. Involves 6 से 12 participants. Usually moderated by a teacher or a facilitator. Focused on a specific topic or issue. Participants take turns to speak and listen. Encourages respect for others' opinions. Discussion. Steps in conducting a group discussion. Topic introduction. Facilitator introduces the topic and rules. Discussion. Participants share their views, respond, and build on others' points. Summarization. A summary of key points is given by the facilitator or a participant. Feedback. Facilitator provides feedback on content, communication, and group dynamics. Educational benefits of group discussion. Enhances language fluency and vocabulary. Develops logical reasoning and argumentation skills. Encourages active participation and listening. Prepares students for real-life situations like interviews and meetings. Tips for effective group discussion. Stay on topic and avoid dominating the discussion. Listen carefully and respond respectfully. Use clear and concise language. Support opinions with relevant facts or examples. Encourage quieter members to participate. Debates. Active language use. Debates push students to actively use English, not just passively learn it. They have to formulate arguments, ask questions, and respond spontaneously, which builds fluency. Critical thinking. Debating encourages students to think critically and organize their thoughts logically in English, improving both their speaking and reasoning skills. Vocabulary expansion. Preparing for debates often requires researching topics, which exposes learners to new vocabulary and expressions relevant to various subjects. Pronunciation and intonation. Speaking in debates helps learners practice pronunciation, stress, and intonation in real time, making their spoken English clearer and more natural. Listening skills. Debates require careful listening to opponents' points, improving comprehension and the ability to respond appropriately. Confidence building. Speaking in front of others and defending a point builds learners' confidence in using English publicly. Engagement. Debates are interactive and often fun, which motivates students to participate more actively compared to traditional methods. In short, debates combine speaking, listening, thinking, and researching skills, all essential parts of mastering English in a dynamic and engaging way. Would you like tips on how to organize debates for English learners? Workshop. Interactive learning. Workshops are hands-on and interactive, allowing learners to practice language skills actively rather than just passively listening. Focused skill development. They often target specific skills like speaking, writing, pronunciation, or grammar, so learners can concentrate on areas they need to improve. Collaborative environment. Workshops encourage group work and peer interaction, which helps learners practice communication and learn from each other. Real-time feedback. Teachers and peers can give immediate feedback, helping learners correct mistakes and improve on the spot. Motivation and engagement. Workshops are usually more dynamic and varied than traditional lessons, which keeps learners motivated and interested. Practical application. Through role plays, discussions, and activities, learners get to apply language in real life or simulated situations, which boosts retention and confidence. Flexibility. Workshops can be tailored to different levels and needs, making them effective for diverse learners. In short, workshops create a rich, supportive environment that promotes active, practical, and collaborative language learning. Want me to suggest some fun workshop activities for language learners? Seminar. Utility of seminars in teaching English. 1. Development of communication skills. Seminars encourage students to present ideas in front of others, helping them improve spoken English, pronunciation, fluency, and public speaking skills. 2. Enhances critical thinking. While preparing for a seminar, students must analyze, interpret, and organize information. This develops their thinking and reasoning skills in English. Teen vocabulary and grammar improvement. Seminar topics often require research, which exposes learners to new vocabulary, sentence structures, and academic expressions, improving both writing and speaking accuracy. 4. Confidence building. Speaking in a seminar builds self-confidence, especially when learners receive positive feedback or manage to convey complex ideas effectively in English. 5. Listening and note-taking practice. When attending seminars, learners practice active listening and may take notes, which improves comprehension and writing skills. Seminar. 6. Encourages independent learning. Students take responsibility for researching and preparing their content. This promotes self-learning and helps them become more autonomous English users. 7. Promotes interaction and discussion. After a seminar presentation, Q&A sessions and discussions allow students to engage in meaningful dialogue, further practicing conversational and academic English. In summary, seminars offer a holistic learning experience, enhancing speaking, listening, vocabulary, grammar, confidence, and critical thinking, all of which are crucial for mastering English. Would you like a sample seminar topic list for English learners? Language Laboratory. What is a language laboratory? A language laboratory, often called a language lab, is a dedicated space equipped with audio-visual and digital tools designed to facilitate language learning. It typically includes computers or audio stations for each student, headphones and microphones, language learning software, a teacher's control console, recording and playback features, internet access and multimedia content. Language labs are technology-enhanced learning environments that support listening, speaking, pronunciation, and comprehension skills in an interactive and individualized way. Usefulness of a language laboratory in teaching English. 1. Improves listening skills. Students can listen to native English speakers via audio or video recordings. They are exposed to varied accents, intonation patterns, and real-life conversations. Repetition and replay features allow learners to practice and understand at their own pace. Though enhances speaking and pronunciation. Learners can record their voice, compare it to model pronunciations, and make corrections. This helps in improving intonation, stress, rhythm, and clarity of speech. Some labs use speech recognition tools to provide real-time feedback. Teen facilitates individualized learning. Each student can work independently, progressing at their own speed. It supports differentiated instruction, allowing teachers to assign tasks based on learners' levels. 4. Increases student engagement. Interactive exercises, games, and multimedia content make learning more engaging and enjoyable. Students are actively involved, which increases motivation and retention. 5. Boosts confidence. Practicing speaking and listening in a non-judgmental environment helps learners gain confidence before using English in public. Errors can be corrected privately, encouraging risk-taking in language use. 6. Develops all 4 language skills. Integrated tools help learners practice listening through audio materials, Speaking via recording and conversation drills. Reading through interactive texts. Writing through typing exercises and digital assignments. 7. Supports teachers' role. Teachers can monitor students' progress, control content remotely, and give individual feedback. Labs often have tracking systems that store student performance data for evaluation. 8. Exposure to authentic language. Access to real-world materials such as news clips, interviews, documentaries, and conversations. This exposure prepares students for real-life communication in English. Conclusion. The Language Laboratory is a powerful tool in modern English language teaching. It provides a controlled, resource-rich environment where learners can develop fluency and accuracy through practice, repetition, and feedback. By integrating technology with language instruction, it makes learning more effective, interactive, and student-centered. Developing listening and speaking skills. Features of English pronunciation. 1. Understand what pronunciation includes. Before improving it, it's vital to know the components. Individual sounds, phonemes, vowels and consonants. Stress, word stress and sentence stress. Intonation, the rise and fall of pitch. Connected speech, linking, elision, assimilation, etc. Rhythm, natural timing of speech. Diagnose students' needs. Conduct initial assessment, listen to students speaking naturally. Identify common issues, are the problems with individual sounds, stress or intonation? Keep a record of common mistakes. Teen techniques to improve pronunciation. A. Explicit phonetic instruction. Teach the International Phonetic Alphabet, IPA, and demonstrate how each sound is made. Use mouth diagrams and videos to show tongue-lip position. Contrast minimal pairs, e.g., ship sheep, to raise sound awareness. B. Listening and imitation. Model pronunciation and have students repeat shadowing technique. Use audio-video recordings from native speakers. Encourage listening practice using podcasts, audiobooks, and movies. C. Drilling. Choral repetition, the whole class repeats together. Individual repetition, correct students one-on-one. Use back-chaining, start from the end of the word phrase and build backward. D. Minimal pairs practice. Focus on sounds that are easily confused, I versus S, etc. Use listening and speaking activities to differentiate them. E. Stress and intonation practice. Use clapping or tapping to teach word-sentence stress. Practice rising-falling intonation in questions statements. Use drama, role plays, and poetry rap to teach rhythm and intonation naturally. 4. Interactive activities. 1. Tongue twisters. Great for improving fluency and consonant clusters. Example, she sells seashells by the seashore. Pronunciation bingo. Use minimal pairs or words with different stress. Teen recording playback. Have students record themselves and compare with native speech. 4. Phoneme hunt. Students find and underline sounds in texts or songs. 5. Peer correction games. Involve students in identifying and correcting each other's pronunciation. 5. Use technology tools. Recommended apps websites. 4. Voc hear native pronunciation of any word. Youglish hear words in real spoken sentences via YouTube. Sounds, the pronunciation app by Macmillan, interactive IPA practice. ELSA Speak Bata Speechling Bata Google Pronunciation Tool, Feedback on Pronunciation. BBC Learning English, Pronunciation Section, Free Videos and Audio. 6. Encourage self-study habits. Suggest students repeat after podcasts or imitate actors. Keep a pronunciation diary, note new sounds, record progress. Teach self-monitoring, listen, compare, adjust. 7. Address psychological barriers. Create a non-judgmental, supportive environment. Celebrate improvement, not just correctness. Encourage risk-taking in speaking. 8. Integrate pronunciation into daily lessons. Don't treat pronunciation as separate, correct in context. Highlight pronunciation during reading, vocabulary, and speaking tasks. Use pronunciation moments during class, 2-3 minutes daily. Now provide continuous feedback. Give specific, not vague feedback. You need to stress the second syllable in record. Use visual feedback, e.g., phonetic symbols, intonation arrows. Encourage peer and self-assessment. Elementary knowledge of English sounds. 8. Correcting pronunciation effectively. Why it's important. Students often mispronounce words due to lack of awareness of English sounds. A teacher who knows the correct articulation of sounds can diagnose problems accurately and provide specific correction. Example: if a student says sip instead of ship, the teacher needs to know the difference between S and to explain tongue placement and airflow. Do. Understanding the sound system, phonology. Why it's important. English has 44 sounds, phonemes, more than many other languages. These include sounds not present in many students' native languages, e.g., as in think or as in this. Benefit: knowing how sounds are organized helps teachers explain sound patterns, stress rules, and intonation, all of which affect clarity. 3. Teaching speaking and listening skills. Speaking. Accurate pronunciation leads to clearer, more confident speaking. Understanding sounds helps students avoid errors that can cause miscommunication. Listening. Students must recognize sounds accurately to understand native speakers. Teachers with sound knowledge can help students discriminate similar sounds. 4. Teaching minimal pairs and sound contrasts. What are minimal pairs? Words that differ by only one sound, like bit bt versus beat bit. Cat kate versus cut kate. Why it matters? Teachers must be able to select and explain minimal pairs to raise sound awareness. This improves both listening discrimination and speaking accuracy. 5. Accurate modeling and drilling importance. Teachers serve as language models for students. Incorrect pronunciation from the teacher can lead to fossilized errors in students. With sound knowledge, teachers can model individual sounds, word stress, sentence rhythm, and intonation correctly. They can use drilling techniques to reinforce learning, e.g., backchaining, choral repetition. 6. Using the phonemic chart and IPA. Why it's essential. The International Phonetic Alphabet (IPA) represents English sounds in a universal way. Dictionaries use IPA for pronunciation guides. Benefits: teachers can teach students to decode IPA symbols to learn pronunciation independently. Helps in teaching dictionary skills and promoting self-learning. 7. Understanding and addressing mother tongue interference. What is it? Learners often transfer sounds from their first language, L1, into English. Example: a Spanish speaker might pronounce very as berry because Spanish lacks the V sound. Teacher's role. With sound knowledge, teachers can identify the source of interference, design targeted pronunciation practice. Art: teaching spelling pronunciation relationships. English spelling is not always phonetic. Example: though, through, are, you, rough, are, if. Without sound knowledge, it's hard to explain why words are pronounced differently despite similar spellings. Teachers need to explain common patterns and exceptions, to help students predict pronunciation from spelling and vice versa. 9. Teaching connected speech and fluency. Connected speech involves linking, e.g., go on, ain. Elision, dropping sounds, e.g., next day, next de. Assimilation, sound changes, e.g., good boy, gbb. Why it matters. Native speakers often speak in connected speech, which can confuse learners. Teachers with sound knowledge can teach these features for more natural-sounding speech and improved listening. 10. Improving teacher credibility and confidence. Students respect and trust a teacher who demonstrates accurate pronunciation. Sound knowledge boosts teacher confidence when correcting students or handling difficult pronunciation queries. Essential for standardized test prep, IELTS, TOEFL, where pronunciation is graded. Diphthong. Phthong is a complex vowel sound that begins with one vowel sound and glides into another within the same syllable. Unlike a pure vowel or monophthong, which stays steady, a diphthong changes in quality as it's pronounced. Examples of diphthongs in English. A as in my, light, bike. A as in now, loud, house. As in boy, corn, toy. E as in say, play, cake. O as in go, home, no. How are diphthongs formed? A diphthong is formed by the movement or glide from one vowel position to another in a single syllable. This happens by starting with one vowel, the nucleus, the main sound, gliding toward another vowel, the off glide, a secondary sound that modifies the main one. Maintaining smoothness, both vowels must be in the same syllable without a break. Think of it like this: your mouth shifts shape while saying the sound. Example: when saying a in my, your tongue starts low and front a, and moves upward and forward. Classification of consonants. Definition of a consonant. A consonant is a speech sound that is articulated with complete or partial closure of the vocal tract, which obstructs the airflow. Unlike vowels, which are produced with a relatively open vocal tract, consonants involve some form of constriction. In simpler terms, consonants are the sounds in speech where the airflow is blocked or restricted by the lips, teeth, tongue, or palate. For example, the sound P in pat is made by closing the lips and then releasing air. Classification of consonant sounds in English. English consonant sounds can be classified based on three main criteria. Place of articulation, where the sound is made in the mouth. Manner of articulation, how the sound is made. Voicing, whether the vocal cords vibrate. Though manner of articulation. Manner description. Examples: IPA symbols. Plosive, stop, complete blockage then release of air P, B, T, D, K, G, P, B, T, D, K, G. Fricative, partial blockage causing friction F, V, S, Z, H, F, V, S, Z, H. Affricate, stop plus fricative combination T, D, T, D. Nasal air flows through the nose M, N, M, N. Lateral approximant air escapes around the tongue LL. Approximant slight narrowing but no friction W, J, R, W, J, R. List of all Chaubi's English consonant sounds with IPA symbols. Sound example word IPA symbol voicing manner place. P-pat P voiceless plosive bilabial. B-bat B voiced plosive bilabial. T-top T voiceless plosive alveolar. D-dog D voiced plosive alveolar. K-cat K voiceless plosive velar. G-go G voiced plosive velar. F-fish F voiceless fricative labiodental. V-van V voiced fricative labiodental. Think voiceless fricative dental. This voiced fricative dental. S-sun S voiceless fricative alveolar. Z-zoo Z voiced fricative alveolar. She voiceless fricative post-alveolar. Measure voiced fricative post-alveolar. H-hat H voiceless fricative glottal. T-chip T voiceless affricate post-alveolar. D-jam D voiced affricate post-alveolar. M-man M voiced nasal bilabial. N-net N voiced nasal alveolar. Sing voiced nasal velar. L-leg L voiced lateral alveolar. R-red R voiced approximant alveolar. W-wet W voiced approximant bilabial. J-yes J voiced approximant palatal. Summary chart English consonants by place manner. Bilabial labiodental dental alveolar post-alveolar palatal velar glottal. Plosive P, BT, DK, G. Fricative F, V, S, Z, H. Affricate T, D. Nasal MN. Approximant W, R, J. Lateral L. Basic components of speech. Basic components of speech. Speech is the oral form of language, and its production involves a complex interaction of several physical and linguistic components. The basic components of speech include: 1. Articulatory component. This involves the organs of speech, also called the articulators, such as lips, teeth, tongue, alveolar ridge, hard palate, soft palate, velum, uvula, glottis, and vocal cords. These parts shape and modify the air flow from the lungs to create different speech sounds. Though acoustic component. This refers to the physical sound waves produced when we speak. It includes pitch, loudness, duration, quality. These elements are crucial for intonation, stress, and rhythm in spoken English. Auditory component involves the listener's ability to hear and perceive the sounds. It includes discrimination of sounds, recognition of patterns, comprehension of meaning. This is essential for both receptive and productive pronunciation skills. 4. Phonetic component concerned with the actual sounds, phones used in speech. It includes articulatory phonetics, how sounds are produced. Acoustic phonetics, how sounds travel. Auditory phonetics, how sounds are heard. 5. Phonological component involves the system and patterns of sounds in a particular language. For English, this includes consonant and vowel sounds, stress patterns, intonation, connected speech features, e.g., assimilation, elision, linking. Basic components of speech. Effective ways to teach English pronunciation. Teaching English pronunciation can be challenging but rewarding. Below are practical and proven methods to help learners improve their pronunciation effectively. 1. Teach the sounds explicitly. Use the IPA, International Phonetic Alphabet, To teach the distinct sounds of English. Focus on problematic sounds based on learners' L1 first language. Example, for native Hindi speakers, V and W may need extra attention. Don't use minimal pairs. Minimal pairs are words that differ by only one sound, e.g., ship, sheep, bat, bet. They help learners hear and produce subtle sound differences. 3. Teach word stress and sentence stress. English is a stress-timed language. Stressed syllables occur at regular intervals. Teach rules for word stress, e.g., in nouns versus verbs, record versus record. Use clapping, tapping, or rubber bands to emphasize stress. 4. Practice intonation and rhythm. Intonation conveys attitude and meaning, e.g., rising for questions. Use drills, songs, dialogues, and reading aloud to improve rhythm. Example, are you coming versus you are coming. 5. Use visual aids and phonetic charts. Phoneme charts and articulation diagrams help learners understand mouth positions. Use mirrors so students can watch their own articulation. 6. Integrate technology. Use apps like ELSA Speak, Sounds the Pronunciation app, YouTube pronunciation channels. Tools like speech analysis software, e.g., Praat, can help visualize pronunciation. 7. Record and compare. Ask students to record their speech and compare it to native speakers. Use this for self-assessment and teacher feedback. 8. Teach connected speech features. Teach students how native speakers link words. Linking, go on ain. Elision, friendship, FRNP. Assimilation, good boy, BB. Helps students understand natural speech better. 9. Provide contextual practice. Practice pronunciation in meaningful contexts, not just isolated words. Use dialogues, role plays, short speeches. Thus encourage listening and imitation. Use audio resources, podcasts, audiobooks, movies, TV shows. Encourage shadowing. Students repeat immediately after hearing a sentence. 11. Be patient and give constructive feedback. Don't correct every error. Focus on intelligibility, not perfection. Offer feedback that is specific and encouraging. 12. Use tongue twisters and songs. Fun and effective for practicing sounds, rhythm and stress. Examples. She sells seashells by the seashore. Songs with strong rhythmic patterns, e.g., nursery rhymes, pop songs. Summary. Components of speech effective teaching techniques. Articulatory use visual aids, IPA mirrors. Acoustic practice pitch, stress, intonation. Auditory listening exercises, minimal pairs. Phonetic teach individual sounds clearly. Phonological work on stress, rhythm, connected speech. Stress. Meaning of stress in English, detailed explanation. Stress in spoken English refers to the greater emphasis given to certain syllables or words during speech. When a syllable or word is stressed, it is pronounced louder, longer, and often at a higher pitch than unstressed ones. Types of stress in English. Syllable stress, word stress. Emphasis on a particular syllable in a word. Example. Present noun present. Present verb present. Word stress in sentences. Emphasis on important words, usually content words, in a sentence. Example. I didn't say he stole the money. Depending on which word is stressed, the meaning changes. I didn't say he stole the money. Someone else did. I didn't say he stole the money. Someone else did. I didn't say he stole the money. Maybe he borrowed it. Contrastive stress. Used to highlight a contrast or correction. Example: I said I wanted tea, not coffee. Contrastive stress. Used to highlight a contrast or correction. Example: I said I wanted tea, not coffee. Emphatic stress. Used to show strong feelings or importance. Example: I really love that song. Rhythmic stress. English is a stress-timed language, meaning that stressed syllables occur at roughly equal intervals and unstressed syllables are compressed. This creates the rhythm of natural spoken English. Significance of stress in English. Stress plays a crucial role in spoken English. Here's why it's important. 1. Improves comprehensibility. Proper stress makes your English clear and understandable. Misplaced stress can confuse listeners. Record noun versus verb stress shifts meaning. 2. Aids in listening and understanding. Native speakers rely on stress patterns to identify word boundaries. Understand sentence structure, predict what comes next. 3. Helps distinguish between similar words. Many English words change meaning based on stress. Word noun verb. Present preznt.ntprzent. Conduct kn.dktk. Increase n.kris. Stress. Communication punch. Affects intonation and rhythm. Stress contributes to the natural melody of English. Proper stress leads to natural intonation, which helps avoid sounding robotic or monotonous. 6. Essential for fluency. Mastering stress patterns. Improves your speaking flow. Reduces hesitation. Makes your speech more native-like. 7. Avoids incorrect stress can lead to confusion or misunderstanding. I didn't steal your book. Implies someone else's book. I didn't steal your book. Implies a different action. Tips for learning and teaching stress. Learners, teachers. Listen to native speech, songs, podcasts. Use stress marking on board, e.g., PHOTO. Practice with minimal pairs and word families. Teach syllable counting and stress rules. Record and listen to your own speech. Use drills and chants for rhythm. Use tapping or clapping to feel stress. Teach sentence stress through dialogues. Rhythm. What do you mean by rhythm? Rhythm in spoken English refers to the pattern of stressed and unstressed syllables in speech. It is the musical flow or beat of the language that helps speech sound natural, smooth, and expressive. Just like music has beats and timing, English has a rhythm formed by alternating strong, stressed, and weak, unstressed syllables. Native speakers use this rhythm unconsciously, and it's an essential part of clear and fluent speech. In my own words, rhythm is how speech moves. It's the natural rise and fall in how we speak. When we talk, we don't say every word or syllable with the same force or speed. Instead, some parts are said louder and longer, stressed, while others are softer and quicker, unstressed. Why rhythm matters in English: helps convey meaning and emotion. Makes speech more understandable. Keeps listeners engaged. Helps speakers sound more fluent and natural. Aids in listening comprehension, especially for non-native speakers. English is a stress-timed language. In English, stressed syllables occur at regular intervals. Unstressed syllables are shortened or compressed to fit the rhythm. This is called stress timing. The time between stressed syllables tends to be roughly equal, no matter how many unstressed syllables are in between. Example 8. Examples of rhythm in English. I want to go to the market. Let's mark the stressed syllables in bold. I want to go to the market. Notice how the stressed syllables I, go, mar are evenly spaced in time. The unstressed words want to the are said more quickly. Example though. She was walking down the street. Stressed syllables she, walk, down, street, she was walking down the street. Even though the sentence has 8 syllables, the timing depends more on the 4 stressed beats. The rhythm feels even and musical. Example 3. Poetic example. The cat sat on the mat. This has a strong rhythm with alternating stressed syllables. Common in nursery rhymes and children's books. How rhythm affects meaning. Rhythm can also change the focus or emphasis in a sentence. Compare. I didn't say he stole the money. Neutral. I didn't say he stole the money. Maybe someone else did. I didn't say he stole the money. Maybe I implied it. Each version has a different rhythm and emotional impact based on which word is stressed. How to improve or teach rhythm. Method explanation. Clapping, tapping, clap on stressed syllables to feel the beat. Chants, songs use music and rhythm to practice patterns. Poems and rhymes practice with rhymed verses to hear rhythm. Shadowing, repeat after native speakers, matching rhythm. Stress timing practice train students to shorten unstressed syllables naturally. Recording speech, students can hear their rhythm and compare it to native models. Comparison with other languages. Language type description examples. Stress timed equal time between stressed syllables English, German. Syllable timed each syllable takes the same time Spanish, French, Hindi. Mora timed based on the length of syllables Moras, Japanese. Rhythm. Example 8. Examples of rhythm in English. I want to go to the market. Let's mark the stressed syllables in bold. I want to go to the market. Notice how the stressed syllables I, go, mar are evenly spaced in time. The unstressed words want to the are said more quickly. Example though. She was walking down the street. Stressed syllables she, walk, down, street, she was walking down the street. Even though the sentence has 8 syllables, the timing depends more on the 4 stressed beats. The rhythm feels even and musical. Example 3. Poetic example. The cat sat on the mat. This has a strong rhythm with alternating stressed syllables. Common in nursery rhymes and children's books. How rhythm affects meaning. Rhythm can also change the focus or emphasis in a sentence. Compare. I didn't say he stole the money. Neutral. I didn't say he stole the money. Maybe someone else did. I didn't say he stole the money. Maybe I implied it. Each version has a different rhythm and emotional impact based on which word is stressed. Rhythm. Example 8. Conclusion. Rhythm is the heartbeat of spoken English. It makes speech clearer, more expressive, and easier to understand. Understanding and using rhythm correctly is key to sounding fluent and natural in English. Think of English as a song. Rhythm is what gives it its melody and flow. प्रिय विद्यार्थियों, कृपया इन वीडियो का लिंक अपने सभी मित्रों और सहपाठियों के साथ साझा करें। धन्यवाद।